Hello, this is Mr. Zhang Visa in Korea. 안녕하세요, 장만익 행정사입니다. Uh, the weather is getting cold, and I really don't like to go out for something, right? And also I have a lot of things to do, and I just I want to uh climb mountains or the midsummer, but due to some work that I have to do, so I just quit or the postpone. Today, this lecture, it is not exactly about the visa, the processing and other stuff, but I'd like to talk to you and share some ideas if you are preparing for the certain visas and such as E7 or F2 or F5. Um, if you graduated or you will be graduating from the one of the Korean university as a master and degree, but I just the talk to you about the what will you do right after graduate or before graduate, that I give her some of tips, and I think it is a very helpful for you because uh most of the person like got the F5 or F2 are needed their effort, right? And but lots of the visa issues and have occurred, and also the and the guidelines and they have changed a lot, and so how to do. So there is a unchanged rules that something, if you are preparing for the future, and you must know that the few things. So I just you know make this lecture to help you, but I just wrote it just for the master, the degree holder, but the bachelor degree or other the working and the visa holders may approach in the similar ways. Okay, so this is a kind of a lecture, not exactly about the visa, but it's very helpful. Okay, keep listening for that. Okay, let us start. The main title is this today's presentation as the benefit. I just wrote a benefit, but I'd like to say that how to set up your the future and how to set up your short term and long term the plans to do something. Okay, let us start. I am just focusing on the master degree holder, but you can apply this basic rule to your current visa time. So there is a main the three very important the visa type and E71, and if you got a master degree and after the job seeking visa change and you need to find the job, and then if you find some companies, right, and you have to check a few things, I will explain. But after that, if you have a chance on it, and or even like a master's, and you can change your current the D10 or D2 visa to F7 if you find the job like so. F is if you want to get F7, right, and you need to about the E71 and F5. It doesn't matter about your previous visa type, but if you want to get the permanent residency, you have to know something. So what is your final destination of the types of F5 visas, right? So uh, you were a D10 visa holder, or you were, you had the job before, or you'd like to transfer to some company, right? It doesn't matter. So if you get the master degree in Korea, or you are almost in the completing your the master degree in Korea, so and you may consider these things, right? So if you find a job, and if you want to find a job, and if you set up the schedule to interview with that hiring company, you must consider the four things. Okay, and the first one, E71 is a special activity visa and the immigration, and offers 85 job categories. So you have to meet one of the job categories if you apply for the E71 visa, right? So you need to check more detailed your job title. The second one, and the company. So hiring company shall submit a lot of documents. So before that, you need to check that what is your field, your job title in that the hiring company. The secondly, you need to check that how many Korean workers are working in there in your hiring company. And the thirdly is the all and the E71 visa applicant, except for a few things, but you need to consider that your the income shall be GNI 80% or higher, right? So it has been changed that the wages, but the GNI is 37.6 million won, right, around, and the 80% of our GNI is around the 30 million won, is a monthly 2.5 million won. You need to talk to them, right? I have seen a lot because of a lot of our and a and then a foreign international student, and when they find they found some companies, and I didn't consider about your wage, but if you want to change it E71, you need to consider the wage, I said. And after seven, this is December 1st, and the new after seven rule will start. And before that, and we still have time. And if you are eligible, and for example, you got E71 and more than 1 year or more, you're working at it, and you can and apply for the after seven, and you can do something, right? So need is a current rule, need 80 points. So so you can decide that which rule is a fit you, is more beneficial, right? It's the important thing is you need to consider the extension of the F27 after you have F27 visa, right? Extension is another the big burden right now. Heard a lot, right? Extension also this January 2nd, and a new rule has changed, and when you extend, you need to check you got more than 80 points. But anyway, new rule is very, very strict. It is just focusing on your previous year's income. So before the change F27, you need to consider a lot, really, really. So F5, uh, but there was a F51 visa and F510. F510 just if you got a master degree, right? And from the 3 years from your graduation, and if you are working over 1 year continuously at the company, right? But I will, explain later then about more detailed information about the F510. But basically, you need to know that, and generate one-time income for the previous year. The F51 is one of the difficult one, and is a general permanent residency. The basically GNI double income is required. So this is a basic rule. If you get the master degree in Korea, right, and D10, E7-1, F7, and F5. This is a rule. So how to do now? What I have to do? It's like the most important thing is the plan. What is the plan? You need to consider a lot. Is if you consider then F5, can I, oh, oh, I'm sorry. So, okay, oh, oh, okay. If you consider that your final and your destination is F5, right? If you consider that is your final destination, so you need to consider that because we're in F510 need the Gen I and income, F501 needs Gen I double income. So you need to consider that income. So how much and did you earn the last year? So would you like to the extra work to make more income, or just you don't like to open your own business after got the after 7, right? So you can consider that the sum of the plan. If I work at the company with a E71, I cannot work for others except for this hiring company. So what will you do? Wow, it is not enough, right? So I have to work. And so what should I do? In this case, is another way is to change F to 7. So if you meet the F7 requirement, so before December 1st or after December 1st. So when I extend my F7 and I can still stay in Korea without changing any visa, right? You can consider for that, right? And also, if you change the F7 and okay, I just work at that current company to make my basic income, and I'd like to work at night and Saturday, Sundays for the extra working, and with a more professional field or something, and for your future, so you can decide that. Or yeah, I know that I have to make the basic and the income in a monthly, but I think if I just work at the company and that I couldn't do anything because there were very low salaries that I cannot meet even like a Gen I one time. So you can decide that which one is good. Before you open your own business, you have to research a lot, and there are lots of the possibilities around you, but you need to find what is your exactly things that you can make an income. And the second one is the consulting, and means not even me as an immigration specialist, or you can look around. There are lots of persons around you, and somebody got F2 or somebody got F5, and somebody is a professor, or somebody is an engineer or something, right? And they have their own some of experience. So but even and they help you the finally and decision and it shall be made by you. It means all decision and the making and the person is you. So if you were the final destination is at 5 a permanent residency, and you need to consider current situation, and you can and continuously and think that the what is my short term. So if I need in the Korean languages that I I'd like to join KIIP and a Korean and the immigration and integration program and learn about Korea and get some point or for my future, or just a long term the plan. So if I make a GNI double, and what I do, what should I do? The right now is that if I and work continuously in the company, I can make this one, and I can the work extra and with the F to 7 visa, right? Or And okay, so I think is the I already made a short-term plan and long-term plan, and my expected in the visa change period is when. If you set up the goal and you have to follow steps on it, okay? The next one is satisfactory. So you can check that, right? Every step, and even like a short-term plan and like a 6 month plan, but monthly you can check that step by step. Is uh, my effort and trials are enough, or I think is I don't like to skip some of the steps and I just go forward a more advanced level or something and doing something, and I just the focusing on very 10 days or 15 days and try on my best to achieve a certain career level goal. You may need to check that which one is better. It depends on you, but important thing is even if you make a short-term plan or a long-term plan, it needs your uh in its satisfaction. So what is your satisfaction? What is your final goal? And if you do and follow this step and step and but right now is but day by day, it's just 1 month later. I think it's a bit difficult to see the whole the process, but 6 months later and 1 year later, you can see that you're improving something. Like for example, the Korean the classes or some your the business or something, right? This you can feel that some of the improvement. It I think that it and it gives you the more uh motivations to do something. And how about the job? And so if you do something, if you make some of the plan and you can that you can I can work that company continuously, and I don't like to work continuously because of these companies and very good. Or I have things that I have to change my current video to another one because and then I have to the work and even like a Saturday sometimes, but is a very and make me tiring, and I really don't like this. Or if you got an F-7 visa, right? Uh, yeah, I know that. And if I the work at the company, and then I can maintain my monthly wages, but if not, it's difficult. But if I just work continuously at the company, I think there is no any future, and you can decide it and find a more easier and working in the company, or just do your and the run your own business. But this is a decision on you. So you need to find the best way, right? Through this plan. The health. Uh, either one of my client and said that he couldn't sleep more than the 5 hours a day the past 1 year. And I just asked him about that. What happened, brother? What happened to you? Then he said, I'd like to meet in a GNI one time in came and I have to work very hard, so that's why. This is very sad, but I said that, can you deal with it? And how about your health? And he said that, yeah, so far so good, and I am taking care of myself, but yeah, this is a very important thing, but you know that if I meet my dream and if I reach my dream and I have to sacrifice right now, but I don't know actually about the and the answers for that because it is a very complicated issue. For example, like if I work very hard, like more than 12 hours a day, I can make some of the money, but if your health get worse, what happened to you? And then finally, you have to spend a lot of money to recover your health. But if your health cannot recover and the health is getting worse, and what happened next, right? So you just consider that and just make a money to meet a certain requirement, or just your health, or your some laser, or your some life balance is more important. So you can and keep and the thinking about that, right? So what is your expectations, and after all the achieving your desired dreams? If you meet a certain and the income or the Korean level, right? You need to spend your time and effort, but you can consider that your plan and makes you the reach the faster your goal, or just a long-term plan is helps you, or just a short-term plan and helps you. But you need to know that, and the long-term plan consists of the short-term plan, so you can consider long-term as well as the short-term plan. So sometimes you make it something and it makes you uncomfortable. So you just spend time and just to and your body or your thought or relaxing, and just focusing on just living in Korea with a current company, or even I am working here, but nobody knows in pandemic situation here. I don't know when my company will quit me or not. It's unstable. So in this situation, even I feel like uncomfortable, and but I have to plan on how to do and for my future. The living in Korea and the working in Korea and the business in Korea and the living permanently in Korea is on you. So what is the important thing is need a balance. The health and your in the current language and income and everything is a need a balance. Without the balance, and I said already, excuse me, if you work like a 12 or 13 hours a day, if your health is getting worse, I think it's very difficult to the reach. Even if you reach your goal, are you happy? So the important thing is you just consider a lot of stuff, and when you do something, if you set up the goal and how to reach them, and and you can the ask for your help. There are a lot of persons around you. Yesterday I met Mr. Steven. Yes, and we talked about a lot, and I learned a lot from him, and he's almost my mentor. And recently he got F5, and I saw a lot of person and gave up their long-term and short-term plan, but past the 5 years he did it, and frequently in the visit our office and communication and show the what he did. And also we just made our plan A and plan B, but he got an F5 one with our plan A, but we prepared the plan B. But his endurance was amazing. So I learned, and also yesterday he said to me, and How much is your I forgot that. I'm sorry. So I just talked to that. This is a very good word that I talked to you. So okay, I like this. How much is your dream worth? How much is your dream worth? Thinking about it. Without the dream and without your plan, there is no anything that happens to you, or just getting worse things that happens to you. So if you want to do something and make more your future bright, what is the most important thing? I explain everything, and also consider that how much is your dream worth? If you reach some of the dream, you have to do and then make a plan, and you have to do very, 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 you know, diligently. So you have to work very hard to reach some of the goal. There is no anything just to happen to you without any like payment, such as endurance and time and your effort and your sincerity and your trust and your you know plans. So the what is the main and the lecture today is like this. Plan, plan. Plan is the only one you can reach your dream. Kindly consider that how much is your dream worth? If you reach your dream, you have to spend your time, your money, and your effort and everything stuff. I learned a lot from my experience, and even when I meet someone, I learned from them, and also, and while I'm studying the masters and my Chungang University, and also I learned and from a lot from my professors as well as my and the same student. So if you will do or you will decide to do something, do it right now. This is a very important. Not even the visa change and extension and other stuff, and just to do it and to see that what happened. But before that, please and think about what you have to do in a very short term or in a very long term and month or 6 month or 1 year plan. And that is one of the things that you can reach your goal. Without the plan, there is no any dream. Okay, thank you very much for today. I explained a lot and about the visa issues, but I'm really focusing on and what will it do. So the most important thing is if you and the reach certain your goal and your dream and you have to do something, you have to do something. So if you do something and try on your best and your effort giving you your dream. Okay, Mr. Stevens, the last word to me, and I reminded several times that I just talked to one more time. Repeat. How much is your drink worth? Hey, Mr. Eric, Mr. John, how much is your drink worth? Wow. Let's see you next time with a better and informative lecture. Now have a great weekend. Bye bye. This is Mr. Zhang, Visa in Korea.